Hey there, GM Jim, back at you with a quick video to cover one more detail about Wizards of the Coast's Vecna Eve of Ruin adventure that came out this week. Or you might say it dropped this week if you insist on talking like an early 2000s rapper. Anyway, I've done videos on Eve of Ruin already, and one of them detailed some ways you could fix a couple major plot holes in the story if you wanted to turn this into a fun campaign for your peoples. And a handful of commenters called me out on a logical point which I wanted to address. So, players wanting to avoid spoilers, click away now, lest ye be spoiled. The major plot device here is about the penultimate bad guy, Kaz, and how he deceives the party by impersonating powerful wizard Mordenkainen. He then establishes trust as part of a trio of NPC allies along with Illustrial Silverhand and Tasha to manipulate the PCs into retrieving the Rod of 7 Parts for him. See my full review for more details about this. A major point of my fixing video is that running a campaign where a highly visible NPC is going to betray the party is very tricky. One, because the players could simply accidentally have it spoiled for them. They might watch a YouTube video like this one and learn spoilers, or casually overhear someone talking about it on Discord or at their friendly local game store. When you have a major shocking plot twist like this in a campaign, it's hard to keep it perfectly sheltered from your players. And if one person in the group knows, they're probably going to tell everyone else. Then you have a group who all knows the metagame secret that their PCs don't know, and that kind of ruins the fun. Also, your players might just figure it out organically. When you're role-playing Kaz as Mordenkainen, maybe you slip up and say the wrong thing, and now you've planted a seed in the players' minds. They know something is up, and so they start to pick at it. This has certainly occurred in other campaigns I've run. It's even been true that I've decided to turn an NPC into a betrayer because I mistakenly said something that made the players think that NPC was going to betray them, so I chose to lean into it so they would feel like they had made a clever discovery. Real quick, since I have you, could I get a like and subscribe below? It only takes a second and it helps us both out. Make sure to click all next to notifications. Thanks, you're the best. Well, now about those commenters. They pointed out that Kaz has a magical item called the Crown of Lies. This is a legendary magic item created for the adventure that basically lets Kaz perfectly impersonate Mordenkainen, and nothing short of a wish spell can out him. The text says, interactions with you while you are transformed by the crown reveal no illusory magic, nor do they reveal anything other than details about the creature you're disguised as. You count as the chosen creature for the purposes of spells, traps, and other defenses, while in your disguised form, any lies you tell always seem to be true, no matter what magical or mundane methods are used to try to detect your falsehoods. You are the recipient of sending spells addressed to you and the creature you're disguised as, and scrying and similar spells that target the creature you're disguised as actually target you. Because of this magic item, the PCs should not be able to use magic or most non-magical investigation methods to expose fake Mordenkainen. And from a legalese perspective, this seems airtight, right? Well, I want you to put yourself into a hypothetical. Say you're a player in this campaign, and you get to the part where you meet the 3 wizards. Unbeknownst to you, or maybe beknownst to you in a metagame fashion, Mordenkainen is actually Kaz the bad guy. You agree to go on this mission for him to retrieve the Rod of 7 Parts. Then, as I mentioned before, imagine the DM lets a little side comment accidentally slip that makes you think maybe Mordenkainen is not who he says he is. So after the session, in your group chat with the other players, you all agree something is fishy and decide to investigate this wizard. Next session, you spend time investigating, cast Detect Thoughts or True Seeing, but nothing turns up. Because of this foolproof crown of lies, he seems, for all intents and purposes, to be Mordenkainen. So, like Elsa, you let it go and continue on the adventure, thinking to yourself that you were probably just wrong to suspect him. Then, you eventually get to the late game chapter titled The Betrayer Revealed. Aha, Mordenkainen actually was Kaz. When the big reveal happens, how do you think you as a player would feel? If it was me, I'd be disappointed. I'd think, well, we suspected he was actually evil, but I guess we just failed to expose him because we're bad at D&D. That's not going to feel fun or like a cool moment, it's just going to feel like a bummer because we were duped for months and months of campaign play. This is a long adventure, so maybe it's been a year of real time that we've been working for the bad guy, and now we definitely feel like dim-witted goobers for being suckered for this long. How is this supposed to be a cool campaign moment? Why would you ever do this to your players? And my other point is that the text of the book is inconsistent around this deception. There's a section in the adventure about what to do if the players suspect Mordenkainen. It says, if the characters put sufficient effort into their investigations, consider allowing them to discover that Mordenkainen is an imposter. This doesn't make sense because by the rules as written logic of the Crown of Lies magic item, investigating him should not work at all. How would they discover his true identity? Do you have to include a scene where they surreptitiously see fake Mordenkainen taking the crown off, thereby exposing his true self as Kaz? Why would he ever be so sloppy? The adventure even says, while disguised as Mordenkainen, Kaz never lets his guard down or removes the Crown of Lies. And from one perspective it makes sense, because otherwise Tasha and Silverhand would have figured him out before now. But it's my opinion that using a magic item to solve a logic problem is lazy writing. And so, while yes, those commenters on my video were correct that the Crown of Lies should technically prevent the players from figuring out Kaz's secret, it's a dumb and unsatisfying way to handle this plot thread. It would be much better to simply let the PCs figure it out, especially if they display any kind of suspicion toward fake Mordenkainen. Don't railroad your players with a magic item so you can maintain this precarious and fragile plot twist. Let them bust your betrayer early if they display any sort of critical thinking in that direction. Okay, so I feel like I've ranted and rambled long enough about this. Make sure you check out my full review of the game first, and then my video on how to fix this adventure if that's something that floats your boat. Or if you're not into floating boats, that's cool too. Until next time, this is GM Jim, reminding you to let the adventure go in the direction your players are taking it, because that's the best way to have fun at the table.